Did you see the one clip I know you don't check a whole lot, but the one clip I posted about Lucic, where we talked about a couple weeks ago.
Oh,
Do you know the clip I'm talking about?
oh yeah.
Okay, so people are all discussing.
Okay, so basically what you said is you said that people think fourth liners might not be that good, and Lucic, let's say someone thinks Lucic sucked, and you basically said like he would dangle around
Yeah, he'd be
anybody,
better than anyone.
and then people would say, "I saw him," blah blah blah.
Right, yeah.
They're
So that was
arguing that the guy that played in 15 years in the NHL, or they're going to probably argue about that. It was 13 and a half, but that he was
and then there was the one about the goalies.
oh, that one's unreal.
The goalies, where you were saying like the movement efficiency makes like the positioning look almost unathletic. You're not saying the goalies aren't athletes.
That's not what I would say at all.
That episode.
Yeah, I love it.
So I'm not taking it that way. The one thing that I read that I thought might be an interesting thing to talk about is, so for Lucic, one of the comments was his last year in Calgary or something. I don't know exactly how much he was making, but let's say his contract was $6 million or something like that, because he was getting paid like towards the end of his career. And I thought that was an interesting thing to talk about, because a lot of guys towards the end of their career, not everyone, because a lot of guys fizzle out and don't do that, but a lot of guys, if they had a stint where they were a top end player or a whatever, and they get that last big contract, like they're getting paid at the end of their career based on past performance, more or less. So I guess my question to start off is just your thoughts about that, like the contract setup, or talking more broadly about the types of contracts that guys get in the NHL or through pro, because a lot of people don't really know a lot about like how much money they're actually making, how much money they're actually taking home, what's valued for different players, and then that idea of like Ovechkin, even though he might never take a hard stride in his last 2 years, it's not a good example now because he's still scoring a whole bunch of goals, but like in his last couple years, he might be useless. Like maybe he will, maybe he won't. I don't know. But let's say he doesn't score very many goals, he's probably still going to make $10 million a year, even if he's no longer really playing up to the level. So just general thoughts on that first, from like a contract perspective, and guys like that are getting paid on past performance, and like what do you think of it? Because it seems to be just from that video, people are like bent out of shape because the guy's getting paid, X amount of dollars, even though he's maybe not the most valuable player to have on the team anymore.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of times, first of all, what people have to remember is the really, really, really good high end players don't get paid the first 3 years. Like the Connor Bedard, I mean, they're going to make their money in some endorsements and stuff, but still, like you get the ELC with some bonuses and stuff, but they're not making the money that they're like Connor McDavid coming in, Cale Makar coming in. The stars that come in are not making the money that they're worth at the beginning of their career.
Yeah, your first 2 years are discounted.
Yeah. Now a lot of people would say, "Oh, poor guys," but it's like when there's only 800 jobs or 750 to 800 jobs available, you got to get paid. Like they're the best in the world for a reason. So, anyways, you don't make your money early. So I would say that's number one. So players themselves obviously want to cash in for everything they possibly can, except for Sidney Crosby, who just refuses to make more than $8.7 million a year and wants his team to be well. Like that's amazing, but that's really cool. But then, yeah, you get to so Patty Kane signed recently with Detroit again, right? And it's like, is he at the end of his career or the beginning? But he signed for really good money, probably more than. I don't even like saying it like that, because who the hell am I to say, is he worth it or not? Because you don't. The other thing is, you don't know what they bring to the dressing room, the leadership, and people like you can devalue that very, very quickly. But yes, I would say a lot of guys that sign contracts in their last tail end of their career, they sign for what they have done rather than what they can do. There's some general managers now that are tightening that up a little bit, and they're just basically saying, "No, you're not worth that anymore, so you're not going to get it." And they're probably right most of the times. But I guess I don't know. It's hard for me to say because who's the thing is, who's to say, like these guys that are stars, you just don't know. Like